So I'm going to start by putting a pad on the chair to make sure it doesn't get scratched. Next, I'm going to get toilet paper, scissors, a brush, a nail clipper, another small brush, and a longer brush. Are you ready? Are you ready, Mochi? Are you ready, Mochi? Are you ready, Mochi? Are you ready, Mochi? So I'm going to start by removing any crusty bits using the toilet paper. You can use tissue as well. Just make sure not to hurt the eye area. So sometimes you can't get rid of all the crustiness around the eye area, especially if it's attached to the hair and it's completely dry. So what I like to do is get a small pair of scissors and just snip these bits off, but you have to be very careful not to cut the skin as well. So for this part, what I'm doing basically is just cutting small bits of hair that cover his eye area. And this is just to keep him looking nice and tidy. So as you could probably hear, this part is very dry. So what I'm gonna have to do is also snip some of the hair off here, just a little bit, just the hairs that have, dirt or crustiness attached to them. And then make sure you just comb the area out to ensure that you got rid of all the bits that need to be gone. So as you can see, compared to the other eye, there's a big difference. His eye on the right side now looks very clean and bright, and he can see clearly too. Now moving on to combing the rest of his body. He really hates this part, but I like to start off with this brush because it helps me, figure out which areas have knots or mats or anything like that. And then what I'll do is go over with the second comb that you'll see. Now you might be wondering why his ears look a little bit oily or greasier than the rest of his body, and that is because he is being treated for an ear infection, and so the ointment kind of gets everywhere, and that is why. His ears tend to get very knotty and matted, so what I like to do is to brush them like this, the way that I'm doing here, just to make sure that there are no mats at all. Next, we're going to be focusing on the tail. The tail tends to get matted too, so I like to make sure that, it's nice and smooth. So for this part, it's not necessary, but I just like to do it to keep him looking tidy, and yeah, it kind of rounds his paws as well. Here I'm just going over with the second brush. He really hates this brush. I think it's because it kind of hurts. And this is the final result. He looks a lot cleaner, tidier, and fluffier. So there are no, eye stains or anything like that, no mats. So I'm not a professional groomer or anything, but a lot of you asked about how I keep his eye area clean and stain free. So this is the grooming process that I do.